What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rebirth, just coming at you again to about to talk about my elementary. Elementary and middle school. Elementary and middle school were pretty much the when I like to consider my life normal. Despite everything that happened with my sister and her running away thing, basically I did have pretty much a good normal childhood when it comes to playing with kids and stuff like that. So in elementary, it was kickball, hanging with my boy Felix and my boy Jose. They were my two main friends that I used to hang out in elementary. Eventually, I haven't actually started my crew at that point, but main thing was I was hanging with them, and I had a couple other friends in there that I really didn't keep in touch with. But it was all about that kickball, that playing tag, that reenacting Power Rangers and stuff like that. And then I moved on to middle school, and middle school is when I discovered girls and trying to do things that were extraordinary. I started getting more into the guitar. Also playing instruments. In sixth grade, I took up band, and I was playing the saxophone, the tenor sax, the big one. There's a bigger one beyond that, but the tenor sax, man, is definitely people used to see that from Lisa in The Simpsons. She played the big saxophone, so that's what I was playing in sixth grade. That's what sixth grade was all about, was band. Come towards seventh grade, that's when I got more into breakdancing. I started getting the hang of that and learning how to do some stuff. And during that time frame, I took I hung out with my boy Nick a lot. He was a friend of mine's. I met my homeboy Mikey, or also known as Angelic Sinister, and definitely got my boy Carlos, who's in the army right now. And during middle school years, I did get to see a lot of good things. I used to rollerblade home, walk home with my homeboys, and take a couple of homegirls home, like my homegirl Alex and my homegirl Jasmine. We used to call her Hippie back in the day. That girl was so funny. Her and her sisters, they used to hang out with us, but it was mainly Hippie that hung out with us, and we just had fun, just good old clean hanging out. Couple people hooked up, couple people didn't. We all hang out as a crew, even if you had a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and we were always a group, and the group would double when one of us was dating, or a bunch of us were dating either each other or other people. So we always had a crowd with us. So, and then we just moved on to high school. My high school story. High school is when things got a little bit tough. My mom was starting to feel real sick. She was spending more time in the hospital, and even ultimately started spending time in hospice. So hospice is pretty much the hospital you go to die. And what they do is mainly what they did for my mom is they would inject her with morphine. And she even had a button to release morphine as she felt pain. And I remember seeing my mom hit that button there once in a while, and I can tell it affected her big time. But we still found time to be with each other. We had this routine, me and my mom, where ever since I was as far as I can remember, we would watch Saturday cartoons with us, and it was kind of me and her thing. I'd wake up around 7, I want to say 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go to her room, and she would turn on the TV and put Tom and Jerry on. Towards the end of her life, it was Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was actually playing at that point, and I would watch that with her towards the end of her life. And she didn't pass away before I got to high school. She was just already in hospice and really sick already, and kind of having to have full-time care at home. But I labeled this section high school story because at my high school, I'm going to try to avoid the school name, but definitely want to talk about what happened in my high school. High school was pretty cool. At first, it was just hanging out with my boy Carlos, hanging out with my boy Felix, hanging out with Big Mike, and just all of us just getting together, doing our thing. We had a little stage where we wrestled, where we had a bunch of people that wanted to wrestle us during lunch, and we would do that. We got a lot of attention doing that kind of stuff, but we were known as the rocker crew. I wasn't too much of a rocker. I would be wearing the polo shirt with the creased up pants, nice and starched, over starched, because that was the style back in the day. And my family, we were pretty good. Unfortunately, one of my friends, some guy named Nathan, decided he was gonna, right after, shortly after the Columbine situation happened, he decided he was gonna write a note to the teacher and say that I'm gonna come and decapitate you, and in a ritual format to take care of you, and the school had to make the school principal decided that it was in his best interest to expel him and his friends that were affiliated with him, because he decided he was going to write on the note a lowercase a with a circle around it. And what we usually did, we used to write around with a couple of my friends. I didn't do that because I didn't like wearing pins and stuff like that. I used to walk around with folders with the anarchy symbol on it, which is a capital A and a circle on the top part of it. And because of that, they affiliated all of us together, and all of us, all the names I keep saying over and over again, got expelled. And that pretty much embarrassed my mom, and she wondered what did we do to deserve that. And she thought I did something wrong. You know, I told her I didn't do anything wrong. I tried to explain to her the story. It's kind of difficult when you have bigger things like cancer in your mind, but they did us wrong. The rest of this happened around March, like 2 months, and I was about to turn 16. I was 15 years old. This happened at the beginning of March, and I was expelled, and I couldn't go to school because no school would let me transfer with an being expelled like that, basically they labeled us as terrorists. And I think on my transcript it literally said expelled for terroristic act. And eventually, so that made me lose my entire 9th grade year. I had to repeat it no matter what, because I couldn't go back to school for the rest of the year. Now, come August, we had a couple of students threatened to sue the school, and the school erased that from all of our records and allowed us to go back to school. Me and Mikey decided we ended up going to school in a charter school called American Academy of Excellence, and we did a little bit of our high school there before I moved over to Laredo, which is going to be another video. But before I even got to August, June 6th of 2001, actually June 7th of 2001, my mother passed away. So right after everything happened in my high school, my mom passed away that summer. So yeah, that really put a burden on us, and really changed my way of being. And when I got to the American Academy of Excellence, all I cared about was being a student. And I was an A student for a little while, but even that got a little complicated, which I'll talk about that in another video.